Welcome to the ultimate deep dive into one of the greatest television series of all time, The Sopranos. If you're a fan of crime dramas, psychological storytelling, or just great TV in general, this is a show that not only defined a genre but also reshaped the television landscape forever. It blurred the lines between cinematic storytelling and episodic television, ushering in a new era of complex character studies and morally ambiguous protagonists. Today, we're going to explore The Sopranos in depth, its characters, themes, cultural significance, and why it remains a masterpiece more than 2 decades after its debut. We'll delve into the intricate layers of Tony Soprano, a mob boss grappling with anxiety, family pressures, and the ever-present threat of violence. We'll examine the powerful women in his life, from his fiercely loyal wife Carmela to his manipulative mother Livia, and how they navigate a world dominated by men. Beyond the immediate family, we'll dissect the dynamics of the Soprano crime family itself, a microcosm of loyalty, betrayal, and ambition. We'll also discuss the show's groundbreaking use of dream sequences, its darkly comedic tone, and its unflinching exploration of the American dream's dark underbelly. So grab some gabagool, pour yourself a glass of wine, and let's get started. We're going to dissect this iconic series piece by piece, exploring its lasting impact on television and its enduring appeal. Before The Sopranos, television was largely defined by procedural dramas and sitcoms. Serialized storytelling was rare, and shows that took their time with character development and long-running narratives were few and far between. Television was often seen as a less prestigious medium compared to film. Then, in 1999, HBO changed everything with The Sopranos, a show that blurred the lines between film and television, creating a cinematic experience week after week. Created by David Chase, the show follows Tony Soprano, a New Jersey mob boss who struggles to balance his family life with his responsibilities as the head of a criminal organization. It wasn't just the gritty realism or the complex narratives that set it apart, it was the sheer audacity of presenting a mob boss as a deeply flawed, vulnerable human being. At its core, The Sopranos is not just a gangster drama, it's a deep psychological exploration of its protagonist and an indictment of the American dream. The show was revolutionary in the way it portrayed anti-heroes. Before Tony Soprano, audiences weren't accustomed to rooting for a character so deeply flawed, yet so incredibly compelling. He was a man caught between two worlds, the traditional brutal world of organized crime and the modern world of therapy, anxieties, and suburban malaise. The success of The Sopranos paved the way for shows like Breaking Bad, Mad Men, and The Wire, all of which centered on complex, morally ambiguous characters, forever changing the landscape of television. At the heart of the show is Tony Soprano, portrayed masterfully by James Gandolfini. His performance was nothing short of iconic. He's a ruthless mob boss who orders hits on his enemies without hesitation, yet he's also a devoted family man struggling with anxiety, depression, and panic attacks. Gandolfini's portrayal captured the nuances of Tony's personality, making him both terrifying and sympathetic. One of the most groundbreaking aspects of The Sopranos was its depiction of mental health. From the very first episode, we see Tony in therapy with Dr. Jennifer Melfi, played by Lorraine Bracco. This was unheard of at the time, a powerful, intimidating mafia boss seeking psychiatric help. His therapy sessions serve as a window into his psyche, revealing his deepest fears, childhood traumas, and moral conflicts. It destigmatized therapy and showed that even the most powerful men could struggle with their inner demons. Despite his violent and often monstrous actions, Tony remains an oddly relatable character. He worries about his kids, struggles with his marriage, and feels the pressure of living up to expectations. The genius of the show is how it makes the audience sympathize with a man who, in reality, is a dangerous criminal. We see his vulnerabilities, his insecurities, and his genuine love for his family, even as he commits heinous acts. This complex portrayal of morality is what makes The Sopranos so compelling and continues to resonate with audiences today. A great protagonist needs a great supporting cast, and The Sopranos delivers some of the most memorable characters in TV history. Carmela Soprano, Edie Falco, Tony's wife, who turns a blind eye to his criminal activities but struggles with her own moral dilemmas. Carmela is a complex character, torn between her love for Tony, her comfortable lifestyle, and her Catholic guilt. Falco's performance is masterful, capturing Carmela's strength, vulnerability, and simmering resentment. Christopher Moltisanti, Michael Imperioli, Tony's volatile and ambitious nephew, whose battle with addiction and desire for approval makes him one of the most tragic characters in the series. Christopher's story is a cautionary tale about the allure and destructive nature of the gangster lifestyle. His relationship with Tony is fraught with tension, and his impulsive nature often leads to disastrous consequences. Paulie Walnuts, Tony Sirico, a veteran mobster with a tough exterior and a hilarious, often paranoid personality. Paulie provides much of the show's comic relief, but he's also a loyal soldier and a dangerous man. Sirico's portrayal of Paulie is iconic, from his distinctive voice to his quirky mannerisms. Silvio Dante, Steven Van Zandt, Tony's consigliere and a level-headed presence in the often chaotic world of organized crime. Silvio is Tony's most trusted advisor, offering him sage counsel and unwavering loyalty. Van Zandt brings a cool, collected demeanor to the role, making Silvio a fan favorite. Dr. Jennifer Melfi, Lorraine Bracco, Tony's psychiatrist, who constantly struggles with the ethical dilemma of treating a criminal. Dr. Melfi's therapy sessions with Tony are some of the most compelling scenes in the show. Bracco's performance is nuanced, capturing Dr. Melfi's intelligence, compassion, and growing unease. Each of these characters adds depth and nuance to the show, making it far more than just a mob drama. They create a rich tapestry of relationships, rivalries and betrayals, exploring themes of family, loyalty, ambition, and the human condition. They are not simply archetypes but fully realized individuals with their own flaws, desires and motivations. The Sopranos wouldn't be the same without them. What separates The Sopranos from other crime dramas is its rich use of themes and symbolism. Some of the major themes include the American dream versus the reality. The show constantly questions whether the American dream is even achievable, particularly for someone like Tony, who takes shortcuts through crime. It explores the dark underbelly of that dream, suggesting that for some, success comes at a terrible price. Tony's lavish lifestyle is built on violence and extortion, a stark contrast to the idealized vision of the American dream. Mental health and masculinity. Tony's therapy sessions challenge the traditional image of the tough, unbreakable mobster. The show explores anxiety, depression, and the stigma of seeking help, particularly within the hyper-masculine world of organized crime. It portrays vulnerability not as a weakness, but as a complex and often hidden aspect of even the most powerful men. Family versus business. Tony constantly struggles to separate his home life from his work life, but the two are inevitably intertwined. His family is both a source of comfort and a source of stress, often becoming collateral damage in his criminal activities. The show explores the inherent conflict between these two worlds and the impossibility of truly separating them. Power and corruption. The pursuit of power always comes at a cost, and The Sopranos shows the devastating consequences of a life built on lies and violence. It depicts the corrupting influence of power, not just on Tony, but on everyone around him. The show suggests that true power is elusive and ultimately destructive. Symbolism also plays a huge role in the show. From recurring motifs like ducks, representing Tony's fear of loss, to dream sequences that reveal his subconscious, every detail in The Sopranos has meaning. These symbols add layers of depth to the narrative, inviting viewers to interpret and analyze the show's deeper messages. The impact of The Sopranos on modern television cannot be overstated. It introduced a new standard for storytelling, proving that TV could be just as compelling and complex as cinema. It paved the way for the golden age of television, influencing countless shows that followed. Its groundbreaking approach to character development, its unflinching exploration of complex themes, and its masterful use of symbolism have cemented its place as a true television masterpiece. It raised the bar for what television could achieve, blurring the lines between the small screen and the big screen and changing the way we consume and appreciate television storytelling. We can't talk about The Sopranos without addressing the infamous series finale. In the final scene, Tony is sitting in a diner with his family. The tension builds as the bell on the door rings. The screen cuts to black. Silence. For years, fans debated the meaning of this ending. Was Tony killed? Did life just go on? David Chase has been notoriously cryptic about it, but one interpretation stands out: life in the mob is unpredictable. One moment, you're eating onion rings with your family. The next, everything goes dark. No matter how you interpret it, the ending cemented The Sopranos as one of the most thought-provoking shows of all time. More than 20 years after its debut, The Sopranos remains one of the greatest TV series ever made. Its impact on storytelling, character development, and television as a whole is undeniable. If you haven't watched it yet, now is the time. And if you have, maybe it's time for a rewatch, because The Sopranos only gets better with age. What do you think about The Sopranos? Let us know in the comments. And don't forget to like, subscribe, and hit the notification bell for more deep dives into the best TV shows of all time.